Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, The Man Crisis. Learn why so many men are struggling to find their way in an increasingly gynocentric world in The Man Crisis. Get your copy of The Man Crisis in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today.
Recently, comedian Kevin Hart was forced to step down as the host of the Oscars for 2019. And while many are lamenting Kevin Hart not being able to host the Oscars, I see it as a blessing in disguise. Now, many of these social justice warriors thought they had the victory over Kevin Hart when they dug up some old, allegedly homophobic tweets that Kevin Hart made and used this as a reason to make him step down as host of the Oscars. But as I see it, that's a blessing for Kevin Hart because now he does not need to be associated with this failure of an award show. Now, Sid Field many years ago said in his book Screenplay that these award shows are nothing more than popularity contests and that these awards have no value. And with the Academy coming to Kevin Hart, it shows that Kevin Hart has a higher social marketplace value than the Academy Awards right now. Because the Academy Awards right now have a ratings problem. Their ratings are at an all-time low, and no one is watching the Oscars anymore. And the Oscars needed Kevin Hart more than Kevin Hart needed the Oscars. Kevin Hart right now is at the height of his popularity. He is currently a person who can open movies at $20 million on a weekend, and he commands a great salary. So he's in a position where he is a box office champ. He's incredibly popular, and he does not need to host the Academy Awards, a show that, again, has had its ratings decline over the last 3 to 5 years, and a show that most people are tuning out. So Kevin Hart doesn't need the Academy Awards, and he doesn't need to host the Academy Awards because he's doing better than the Academy Awards. And he's doing better than the social justice warriors who decided to go dig up some old tweets on Twitter and use this as a reason to try to deny him an opportunity to be a part of a dead-end award show, or an award show that most people, again, are just not watching anymore because it's nothing more than 3 to 4 hours of people in their high positions in Hollywood ranting about Donald Trump. That's one of the reasons why I tuned out of the Academy Awards. And the other is the whole paternalistic view they have on people, on black people in film. So when I look at this Academy Awards, it's not something that I care about, and I think Kevin Hart can do better than hosting the Academy Awards. That award no longer has the prestige that it used to have, and it no longer commands the high value in society anymore. So the social justice warriors thought they were giving Kevin Hart an L when they went out here and dug up those old tweets, and they thought they were going to embarrass Kevin Hart by denying him an opportunity to host the Academy Awards. But I see the great blessing being given to Kevin Hart because now he doesn't have to sit through 3.5 hours of pretentious rich people making a bunch of self-serving speeches and ranting about Donald Trump while these same people participate in many of the same racist behaviors they project onto Donald Trump and allege that he participates in. So I look at this and I say, Kevin Hart dodged a bullet because when I look at these SJWs who sit there and talk about how, he made some homophobic tweets, but these same people were silent about Seth MacFarlane, who for years has made numerous gay jokes on his show Family Guy, and has made numerous offensive jokes on Family Guy for years, and numerous other hosts, but the SJWs don't have a word to say about your Seth MacFarlane. No, they only want to come out here to attack Kevin Hart because most of these SJWs at heart are bigger racist than the racists that they say that they're against. And when you look at both sides of these groups, they're two sides of the same coin. Your SJW is just like your alt-righter. They're both racist. They're both intolerant. They're both bigoted, and they both have a narrow view of the world, and they want to force their narrow view of the world on people. And as I see it, Kevin Hart, he doesn't have to deal with this hot mess, and he can just go on and continue to make his money, continue to have his great career, and continue making films, because many of those SJWs who want to try to bring him down, they're going to be sitting there living in their little one-bedroom apartment, all 20 of them, making their little statements on Twitter and social media about Kevin Hart, while Kevin Hart sits there and chills in his mansion, relaxing and enjoying his life. So he doesn't really have to feel bad about stepping down as the host of the Oscars, because he's already stepping up in life, and he's already a bigger success in life than many of those people who went out here to protest him being a host of the Oscars. And he's still going to continue being that success while these same SJWs are living in their misery in their own company. So when I look at this whole Kevin Hart controversy, I just look at it and I laugh at those SJWs, because they don't know how they, in their attempts to hurt Kevin Hart, they actually helped him. Because when I look at this, he doesn't have to be associated with an award that is declining in value, declining in popularity, and an award that people no longer care about or see as significant anymore. Because when we think of Oscar nowadays, and we think about it being the standard for Best Picture, it's no longer the standard for Best Picture. It never really was the standard for Best Picture, because if Sid Field, in his book Screenplay, which was made in the, I believe it was the 80s, was saying that this is just a popularity contest, and here we have a man who was at the height of his popularity walking away from this award, it shows you how little value this award has these days, and how we need to just move on and just say, okay, these SJWs want to sit here and be miserable, and leave them to be miserable in their own company as they watch this award show where people, rich people, sit there and spend the entire night taking jabs at Donald Trump, while they do nothing for most of the people who they say that they're so for. So when I look at this whole Kevin Hart controversy, it's just a bunch of SJWs who are full of crap running their mouths, and they don't even see how they've lost the argument, because Kevin Hart is not going to be fazed in the least by these people making these accusations. At the end of the day, he's still going to be popular. He's still going to be opening up movies at $20 million a picture. He's still going to be commanding a great salary, and he's still going to be one of the most popular stars in Hollywood. If anything, again, Kevin Hart is going to still come out of this game on top, while those SJWs at the bottom of the world are still going to be living in the gutter and still suffering and struggling. And that's something that these guys don't really think about, because in their own little narrow racist minds, they thought they got a black man, but at the end of the day, the black man is actually getting them. If you'd like to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon by clicking the link in the description box. And if you want to try some of my SJS Direct publications, you may do so by clicking the link to Amazon.com. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.